From Chicago streets to the courts beat, Sal Scott Dan on the podcast seat. Bulls breaking news, talking stats and views. Every player, every play, we never lose. Horns over hoops, we're the Bulls troop. From game analysis to fan scoop.
What is good, Bulls fans and Horniacs, and welcome back to another episode of the Horns Over Hoops podcast. We are your hosts for the evening, Sal Bass, Scott Berman, and Dan Gracie. Gentlemen, welcome. How are we doing today? Better yet, don't answer that, because I'm going to start this show off with a bang. Bang Energy. We'll take the sponsorship. Anyway, I got a trivia question for you. Because how excited I was is the Bulls have been doing actually very, very well lately. Of course, we'll get into that later. But one particular game, they had one game that I haven't seen from them in quite some time where they established almost a 50-point margin of lead at one point. Not so much the victory. They later on lost that. But anyway, getting to the point, I want to test your knowledge and you listeners at home. When and how big and against who do you think the Bulls' single game margin of victory was? Came out shooting for this, show.
I forgot how badly we beat the Clippers, or not the Clippers, the Sixers. We were up 50 at one point in that game. I know that.
No,
that's the game I'm referencing.
They ended up,
but that's not.
It was like
that's
40
not
something.
I think it was even 30s because then at the end of the game we were just throwing garbage out there. But how about a guess?
Is it within the last 10 years?
Not even close. No. We were not born yet.
So it was like in the sixth, no, because the Bulls were founded in what, 66, 68?
66.
66. Yeah, same as Vans. That's how I remember. So it was in the 60s, I'm guessing. No, it had to be in the 70s.
Yep. Not, what, are you talking about year or point differential?
Year.
I'm going to say they 77, and I'm going to say they beat like the Washington Bullets.
Negative. The year was pretty close. Dan will give you one guess. And then,
hold on. What year did Scott say? Was it
77?
77.
I'm going to say 76, and it was Milwaukee.
Indianapolis Lakers.
Close. All good guesses. Gentlemen, the Chicago Bulls registered their highest margin of victory in a single game stint in 1975-1976 against the Portland Trail Blazers, with the final score being 130-74, a 56-point deficit that we handed to the Portland Trail Blazers at the time. Of course, I challenge any of you guys, you don't have to name a single player who was on the team at that time, because that was before our time.
Greg
and
Odom.
I'll just tell you, Greg Oden.
Yeah.
Yep.
He looked like
LaMarcus Aldridge
at all times, so he probably played there.
It's just time traveled.
LaMarcus Aldridge was there. That's how long that Tyrese Thomas trades feel like it's been.
Okay.
And then, ironically enough,
okay,
Trailblazers,
the Blazers. Yeah. I don't know.
We had Jerry Stallone, Bob Love, and
as in like Sylvester's brother, Jerry Stallone. Jerry Sloan. Sloan.
And we had Norm. Fuck off.
Pass me the ball. We're not making fun of Sly here. Anyway, and then ironically enough, our largest defeat came at the same point registry. It was 56 points. This one was a little bit more recent. It was in 2018 to 2019. We lost to 56 points to the Boston Celtics, a 77-133 defeat. So there it is. A little Bulls trivia in the morning.
I was going to guess the Celtics, but I thought it would be more recent, possibly last year when they beat the shit out of us during the play-in.
The play-in tournament?
Yeah.
No, we had some bad losses, but they were never like that. I mean, 2018, 2019, that had to be like the Saturansky year. And
I was going to say that sounds like a Sato team.
Yeah. The years that nobody watched except us. Yeah. Paul Zipser.
Yeah. That was
Paul Zipser, my boy Denzel DV45. But anyway, that was a little Bulls trivia in the morning to get the blood flowing, to get the listener's brain working. Now, gentlemen, you can answer how you're doing. Dan Gracie, how you doing?
I'm hungry.
Okay, wonderful. Scott Berman, how you doing?
Pretty good.
All right. Well, in that case, since we're doing good and we're charging head first on this podcast, because we're really excited to do this. At least I am. I don't care. We're really excited to do this episode because despite the Bulls making a blockbuster trade that everyone was up in arms about, they're actually showing an uptick and playing very well. A couple victories, including that one almost crushing victory the other day that 76ers fans are going to be having a hard time sleeping after that. But let's get right into this episode with our usual Bull status of the season so far. That name needs a little work, but nonetheless, let's get into the numbers. So currently, at the time of this recording, the Bulls are 24-36 overall, which is good enough for 10th place in the East. We're currently sitting, 2.5 games above the Nets for that 10th spot. And we are currently 3-7 in the last 10 games. Now, I know in that last 10 game sample that doesn't look very well, but there's been a lot of benefits in those losses. As much as people don't like seeing the benefits and losses, there has been a lot of benefits and losses. And we will get into them right now by me asking this question. Gentlemen, the Bulls have been looking very, very good post Zach LaVine trade. I know you guys are thinking 3-7 and looking very good. But I want to ask you guys, what has been the key factor to this success, air quotes, despite losing our superstar player? Dan Gracie, you're on the clock.
Ball movement. Players are actually cutting to the basket. Being young, athletic, we have, I don't want to say these are baby Bulls, but I mean, it's definitely a younger squad we got going on. And it seems like every player has something to prove because most of these players were like just written off pretty much, like Kevin Huerter. Like he started for us terribly, but I do think that was more just rust from him not playing. Zach Collins has been amazing for us. I look at him as the modern Taj Gibson for our team.
Oh, it's a good way to look at it.
But yeah, and then
we love our Taj Mahal.
And then, Giddey's doing his thing. He's looking really good lately. We'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I think I don't know if they're like buying into Billy's system or what, but yeah, there's just a lot of ball movement. Everyone's passing the rock. Everyone's cutting the like fluidity out there on the court. So yeah, I like this little core that we stumbled upon. That trade wasn't the best trade, but it's working out. So
thank you, Scott Berman. What do you think? Because we have been losing, but we look good while losing. It's like that scene from Space Jam where it's like, Mike, that was a strikeout. That was a good-looking strikeout, though. You know what I mean? We've been losing. Those are good-looking losses, though. What do you say to them?
Without Zach, they're letting Lonzo and Giddey actually run the team. Like, you'll actually see when Giddey doesn't have the ball, he's pointing where players should be or where they should be running to. Like Dan said, players are cutting to the basket. Giddey is facilitating everybody. His play has been completely different since the All-Star break. So that's part of it. Kevin Huerter, he's back to, I think he was shooting like 30% from three before or this year on the Spurs. He's almost shooting 40% for us. So he seems to be getting his stroke back, which is great. Zach Collins, the biggest surprise for me. Like, he has shown what he can do. He can score. He can rebound. I want to say he got 17 rebounds the other day against the Clippers. He plays tough defense. It's a lot of guys are stepping up. Julian Phillips had a really good game the other day. So a lot of the young players are getting their chances to show what they can do. And everybody seems to be playing well together. Even if we're losing, we're not getting blown out like we used to be. Like all these games, well, minus the Pistons game, but we don't talk about that. The Pistons kicked the shit out of us.
I'm fine with that.
The Pistons are doing that to a lot of teams.
They just beat the shit out of the Celtics.
Yeah, they're a dark horse in the East, that's for sure.
We're actually, maybe it's Billy's offense, but I think they're letting Lonzo and Giddey actually run the offense, and we're not playing iso ball ever, other than when Kobe wants to do his bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, honestly, here's the thing. Bulls fans, I will never admit that we won a trade or that I'm happy for a trade for Zach LaVine, but I'm happy to say that had these 3 players that we acquired gotten here in a different way, free agent signing, what have you, I would tell you that I love the additions. Kevin Huerter came out his first couple games. I was ready to bash my head into a wall because of how terrible he was shooting. It's not that he was missing threes; he was missing the basket altogether.
Yeah.
Like it's like he forgot to shoot from that plane ride from Sacramento over here.
It was like a Space Jam scenario where someone stole all of his talent.
Yeah. If you wanted to be like a mediocre alien monster.
Yeah.
Anyway, Trey Jones, I'd never heard much about him except he had won the starting spot, then got sent to the bench when CP3 got there, so on and so forth. Zach Collins, same traffic. I didn't know very much about him, so the expectations for them coming in, it was minimal. In fact, I was a little bit more pissed that we lost Zach. But since then, we've played about 8 to 9 games since that trade deadline, and I see a completely different 3 players there. I'll start with Zach Collins. Zach Collins stepping up in the absence of Vooch and a couple games where Jalen Smith was injured. He has emerged as a potential candidate for a starting role going forward. Now, I know he's not the most ideal starter that we want, but the man has been getting rebounds, something that Vooch had been struggling to do. He's getting offensive rebounds. He's got a good finish at the rim. He's a good defensive presence down low. From getting just some random guy in a trade, the Bulls have found somebody that we could build, throw in the starting center role going forward. Kevin Huerter, I just touched on him that he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn when he got here. Now he's emerged as one of our deadliest 3-point shooters that we got, including that game where he had he almost had his career high at 8. He had 7 threes in one game, pushing me to further think that this could very well be, dare I say, a Timu or a Wish version of a Kyle Korver.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Okay.
He's a little more athletic than Kyle.
And he's got a little bit more game. A little bit more. But, just Huerter, Korver. Anyway, moving on to Trey Jones. I'll be honest with you guys. Trey Jones was the one I was most excited for, just because of the fact that all our point guards, with the exception of Lonzo, have always been scoring-minded point guards. We experiment with Kobe. We experiment with Zach when he was at point. They're all scoring point guards, where Trey Jones was just a defensive-minded point guard. He was somebody who puts people in a position, and he did exactly that. His defense is pretty top-notch. He can drive the lane. He's not one of those players that has a shoot-first mentality. He'll wait for the open shot. His shooting is last-case scenario. Like, if somebody else does not have a shot and I'm the only hope, I'll take the shot, which I like about it. But I'm going to say one of our biggest successes in this post-Zach
era
world, so to speak, would be we finally get to see Matas Buzelis starting. That's been huge. I feel like had this guy been playing a little bit earlier and given some more minutes, he could have made a case for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Cutting to the basket, that's for sure. We're not relying on silly threes anymore.
The only time we're taking silly threes is when Kobe has the ball.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get into Kobe. We'll touch on Kobe later. Yes. But fellas, I touched on it. We are in the post-Zach LaVine era now that we got it all off our chest, what we thought about this new additions. What do you think about the Zach LaVine trade revisited. I'm not, again, you don't have to say who won or lost.
Right.
Just what do you think about the trade?
I think it's decent. I mean, the bar was low when those players got here. And like we've all said that we've been pleasantly surprised as of late. I thought there was going to be more growing pains with this squad, just because like I thought we should have done this a couple of years ago to get like all this growing pain out of the way. We could start building now. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate it as much as I did at first, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the front office. I'm not gonna like praise them and everything, but this wasn't as bad as a move as we all thought it was.
Yeah. Of course, the day that it happened, we were all ready to,
for sure,
to charge the United Center.
For sure. I was ready to go out there with like my pitchfork and torch and just
your torch.
Yeah.
So Scott Berman revisited Zach LaVine, the trade. We're now 10 games after the trade deadline. What do you think?
I still wish we would have got at least a pick for it. Trey Jones, I'm kind of up in the air with him. Like, he's going to be a bench point guard, and we have so many point guards. He is definitely going to get some more playing time now that Io's out for the year, but we'll see. I do like what I saw from Zach Collins, and Kevin Huerter is someone we've needed. We haven't had anybody that can shoot off the bench other than Io. So I think that was a great pickup. And like you said, if that was an offseason pickup, we'd have been so excited.
Yeah.
So I would say it's pretty even. I think these players fit better with this team compared to Zach, and we're kind of in a rebuilding stage. This is kind of the core. We need to just find that superstar now. Like, if you put a superstar that can work with this team, you can become pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm liking it more. I still don't trust AK. I think he kind of lucked into this.
Agreed.
If anything.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm so glad you said
like,
that.
I don't think he understood what Zach Collins was. I think he just like, I don't know. AK seems to be trying to build the whitest team possible, which is kind of funny.
It's insane. That all white lineup we had of what Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter,
Giddey, Collins, Huerter,
and then the odd man out was fucking Lonzo on that squad,
who is also pretty white,
who's mixed and everything.
Yeah.
So I was just like, going for like an all white European team. What are we doing here?
Yeah, maybe we can get
whatever works, right?
I don't know if he doesn't want to resign with the Lakers.
Just bring
that man's not going to get fleeced twice.
Bring Scales out of retirement, sign him.
Nah, he's busy being the Celtics announcer.
The Celtics announcer. He's doing a damn good
Scales,
job.
you'll make more money. You'll make more money doing this.
Okay, you guys are still going to get pissed at me, but I'm gonna give you a reason why. I'm gonna give you something to think about because nobody thought about this until now. Okay, what do I think about the Bulls trade post Zach LaVine? I hate it. We traded Zach LaVine for 3 players that if we would have waited 1 year, we could have signed them in free agency. That's all I've heard since the day we traded them was, they got expiring contracts. We'll have to revisit. These are 3 caliber players that if the Bulls would have just waited for them, they would have been available in free agency. They fit the mold of players that we signed during free agency. Zach Collins, mediocre to not so great center. He would have been available. Kevin Huerter probably would have been the most difficult to acquire. I don't want to say decent free agents, but they're those free agents that fly under the radar. They're good players, but they're not those superstar caliber players. Okay, so we traded for 3 players who probably would have been there when their contracts expire in free agency, and then we traded for our own draft pick back that we had a 96.8% chance to get back. So we traded Zach LaVine for essentially nothing.
Well, I mean, hold on now. Kevin Huerter is on contract for next year. Zach Collins is on contract for next year. Where's Trey's? Well, I'm just saying, like, they're not going to be free agents next year. They're under contract still. So it's not expired.
But when Zach LaVine, they have the same. Okay, so Zach LaVine in 2 years, his contract would have expired, right? 2 years he had left.
Yeah. Well,
you could have.
I mean, you
know what I'm saying.
With that, you risk Zach, like, more friction between, like, I mean, as far as we know, everything's been all hunky-dory between Zach and the front office. But, I mean, behind the scenes, for all we know, there could have been friction. There was friction last year.
Maybe.
So, I mean, I feel like you risk chemistry. Not chemistry, but, you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
I know what you mean. Morale.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
But you know what you just risk now? Getting these guys that are now playing absolutely fantastic going into contract years. Now we have to pay more for these guys. Okay.
Or we trade them because they've been playing good. They bring their trade value up. We get rid of that expiring contracts, make more money, have more money in the offseason to sign someone big.
Sure. But at this point, at some point in the building of a team, you do have to keep your own assets. So trade value or not, trading Zach Collins. If Zach Collins is already producing, at some point we got to start keeping these players and building. Otherwise, we're never going to have a set team. If we get a guy, see his potential, and then either get rid of him or lose him in free agency, we're never going to go ahead. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't mind seeing Trey Jones, Zach Collins, and Kevin Huerter here long term. You know, they just fit the mold and style of play of a team that I'd like to see. But again, with them playing so well, maybe not so much Trey Jones. He's playing great, but not enough to get a bit as big a purse as the other two. But now Zach Collins is emerging as a potential candidate for the starting center role. Those dollar signs are going to go up. He's no longer going to do that $10-15 million contract. Now his price tag goes up. Kevin Huerter, you know, he's going to be getting some money. You know what I mean? Whereas we would have signed them in the free agency and the price tag would have been the price tag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, but
now that they're playing so well for us and how cash happy the Bulls are, we're going to be throwing lots of money their way.
I don't know. Kevin Huerter, I don't think.
So
he's a bench player. He's not going to get more than 15 a year.
Yeah.
He's making,
for now.
right now, he's making 16, next year 17.
Yeah. Next year is 18.
He's not getting above 20. Same with Zach Collins. They're going to get like 20.
Because when Kevin and Zach got those contracts, they were both starters for their teams.
But again, we like to throw money at players. Look at Patrick Williams. We threw $90 million at him.
Well, I think that's just because AK is so stubborn and he can't admit that Pat is just a wasted project.
Sure. Oh yeah. By no means am I saying that's what's gonna happen. I'm just saying that we acquired 3 players at the almost end of their contract year, and we might be seeing more money being thrown at these players that need to be spent, or like Zach or like Scott was alluding to, we could be the other. Well, for me, he's okay. Like Scott was alluding to, the Bulls like to do this thing called acquire a lot of expiring contracts. Then when in lieu of like a big free agency market, and then dump all the contracts, try to make a run at that big free agency, only to strike out and get another consolation prize. I could see that happening. Mm-hmm. So
I do think that's
coming to a Chicago buffet. And I think that coming to a Chicago buffet near you, the Bulls are going to try to go all in for Zion Williamson. So, I mean, there are a lot of different avenues we can go. A lot of different avenues. But I think in the end of the day, I could see the Bulls trying to go after Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant could verbally say, I'm not going to Chicago. And you'll still see the Bulls be like, well, wait. Let's see what we have to offer you. Hold on now. Yeah. Well, we're not that far out of the first place spot. Yeah, actually you are. But anyway, yeah. So the trade revisited, it worked out in our favor. But like Scott said, 100% luck, because these were just 3 average players that are finding success on a very below average team right now. So it's kind of like if these players would have came to a team that was more successful, would their talents have shown that much, or would they be bench players, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
just worthy bench player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I still hate it. I still hate seeing Zach LaVine in a Sacramento Kings jersey.
I love it.
Zach LaVine in a Sacramento Kings jersey is like, you know, when you see, but he's like, you know, when you see your ex-girlfriend that you still kind of had feelings for with another man, and you're like, that should be with me. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. No?
Nah. If you love something, let it go. Watch it shine, watch it grow.
Okay. Did you love prime Derrick Rose?
Yeah.
Would you have let prime Derrick Rose go?
We didn't. We let Derrick Rose go when he hurt both his knees.
But if you love something, if you love prime Derrick Rose, let him go. See what he does.
Yeah, I don't.
No. I'm just I as much as I hated Zach last year, and I don't even want to say hate, he was just playing with the emotions of the city of Chicago. It was sad to see him go this year. So, but nonetheless, moving on to another chunk of success that I had alluded to earlier. Gentlemen, Matas Buzelis finally in the starting lineup. And it looks like he's kind of penciled in for a definitive starting role for the rest of the year, which is what we as Bulls fans had been petitioning for since right around the beginning of the year when we found out this was going to be a wash anyway. Gentlemen, how do Matas's skills and confidence rank coming off the bench to now kind of solidifying himself as the interim starter, we'll just say?
I like it. I like what I'm seeing from him. Like, he's making, like, the very last game we played, I saw him do that pass up the court to Kobe, and he threw it way too far, and you saw all the players like react to it and everything. I was fine with him doing that. He's learning from it. Like, you learn from your mistakes. The only way he's going to learn is if he's out there on the court. So give the man as many minutes. Like, what is he averaging? Like 25 minutes now a game or some shit, I think,
something like that.
So keep that going. Keep that going. He's only going to get better. His confidence is only go up higher. He is the opposite of Patrick Williams.
Because he can dunk.
100%.
He's everything that we wanted from Pat. Well, not everything, but you know, like, there was no hype around. Well, there was hype around Matas. There was no hype really around Patrick, except like he might be the next Kawhi. And then, you know, we all were expecting so much from Pat, and Pat's just dog shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm all for Matas with more minutes. Just let the rook grow.
Somebody at work had told me Matas Buzelis is everything that the Chicago Bulls wanted out of Patrick Williams when they drafted him. So very good. We don't have to explain it. Just very good, Dan. Great. Very good. Scott Berman, everything I just asked Dan, how do you like him? What do you see different?
He's definitely showed that he can be a player in this league. Like, I don't know if he's a starter quality player yet. He still can't shoot threes. I don't know what happened in the G League. Well, I do. G League Ignite is the worst thing that a player can do because they do not develop players. It's such a dog shit team, and I think they're not around, right?
Yeah, they absolved or dissolved.
Oh,
good.
I didn't know that.
Because they ruin players. I'm glad the G League Ignite is gone because they ruin players. That's when Buzelis was coming out of high school. The big thing was he can shoot, and he can't hit a three to save his life lately. Like, he's like going 1 for 4, maybe 2, but he can't shoot, and so he just needs to kind of stay near the basket and kind of work in the close game and keep dunking. He's making some good drives, and he's getting a lot of good rebounds, getting in the game a decent amount. So I like what I see. I still think he has a lot of development to do, and if he can get his shot down, he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He's shooting 34%. It's not terrible, you know. I mean, for a big man, it's not terrible. That will continue to fall, and a lot of his threes are more in the corner. I'd like to see that develop more around the actual length of the arc, so to speak. I know he relies on that corner three a lot, which that if that's his bread and butter, kudos to him. But I'd like to see him be able to hit that shot from all angles of that 3-point arc.
Yep.
As a whole, I'm with you guys. The Matas Buzelis, in my opinion, was never, I don't want to say never a rookie because he still is a rookie, but he never played like a rookie to me. Right. Every time Matas Buzelis stepped on the court, he looked like a veteran that already been playing 3-4 years. Leaps and bounds above. Look at our most recent rookies, okay? Terry, Phillips, and Patrick Williams. Leaps and bounds above that. Yeah. You know what I mean? He does look like somebody. He's playing like somebody who should have been drafted number 1 overall. And I absolutely love it. I love that finally, I don't know if Billy just did this to give the fans what we want, or if he had an ulterior plan, or if he's in, screw it mentality, but he finally put him in as a starter, give this man more minutes. I'm a little pissed because I wish he had done this earlier in the season, because now any hopes of Matas to win any sort of rookie of the year or anything like that has already gone to the wayside. And I think, and I'm going to ask you guys this same question, could he have made a strong case for rookie of the year had he had gotten minutes earlier in the year? Of course, as we know, this rookie pool was not the greatest. So with a season that he's been having, with the limited minutes that he's already been having, could Buzelis have won rookie of the year this year?
I don't. Who's in the talks for rookie of the year?
Castle, Zach Giddey,
Castle, Versace,
SR. But Castle's probably going to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Matas being in discussions, but I don't think he would win it if he was eligible. No. He would be in the conversations. He would be in the conversations, but I don't.
So I'm saying if he would have gotten the minutes early in the year, let's say he would have gotten these same minutes that he's playing now earlier in the year, could he have won?
I don't really know because I'm not paying attention to any other rookies. But that's why I'm just saying he'll be in conversations for sure, because like you said, he doesn't play like a rookie. He's playing like he's been in the league for 2-3 years now, and maybe he just looks good to us because all of our past rookies have just been dog shit.
There you go. Okay, very strong point. Very strong point. Scotty B, could Buzelis have won rookie of the year had he started playing a little earlier?
Looking at Castle's stats, he's only averaging 12 points a game, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. So, yes, mainly because, like Dan said, there's no standout rookie. The last couple of games, Buzelis has been averaging 12 points, 4 and 4. So he can absolutely could have won it, and he's not gonna, obviously, but as bad as it sounds, this rookie class kind of sucks.
Yeah,
there's not a star in it. So yes,
I agree. I agree more with Scott. I think that had this young man had given a chance to shine, I think he would have not only won rookie of the year, I don't think there would have been much competition. I'll give you a small sample size, okay? The last 10 games, the man has averaged 12.9 points a game. He's shooting almost 31% from the three. We'd like that to go up. But free throw percentage, he's shooting 80% from the free throw line.
Oh, my God.
His field goal percentage, and this is a man that doesn't just dunk and doesn't just, he shoots, is 50%. Outstanding numbers for a man who's got many different angles to his game. He's averaging almost a block a game. He's averaging almost a steal a game. This man had it all. Had this man have been thrown out there early in the season, playing the minutes that he's been playing, he would have most definitely been hoisting the Rookie of the Year award.
Yeah.
However, like typical Chicago fan, and I hate to be negative, but the Bulls always fail to realize the negatives and hang on to their negative assets too long. My opinion, it should have been Patrick Williams rotated to the bench way before this terrible mudslide of tragedy has happened. We should have lit a fire under Patrick's ass by moving him to the bench and rewarding Matas into the starting role, as if to say, listen, man, if you're not going to produce, I'd rather play the rookie than play you right now. So I think he would have absolutely won Rookie of the Year. And the sad part is if these numbers continue to grow, you may see some superstar caliber qualities in this man. 50% from the field. Like I said, the man's not just a dunker. He shoots threes too. And he's averaging almost 50% from the field. Outrageous.
Yeah, I forgot.
So
I'm going to change my stance and say, like, yeah, Montaz would probably win. I totally forgot that he shot 100% against the Heat. Like, that's insane.
Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, no, Montaz.
But not only that,
Go ahead.
this is the thing that you guys, or not you guys, but we forget is, if you notice, we've gone up against some major superstar players. Kevin Durant,
James Harden,
Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Matas has taken on all of those players in as a defensive assignment, and he's handled them pretty well, including Kevin Durant.
He took on Jimmy too.
Yeah. Jimmy. I mean, you got to think we throw him on probably the best player on the other team, and he handles them pretty well, including when he took on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant had a lot of high praise for Matas Buzelis after the game. And it was just really good as a Bulls fan in this kind of awkward era where we have no direction and we're kind of in this basketball limbo, to hear one of the greatest players to ever play the game in Kevin Durant praise somebody of our own. You know, it just gives us a lot of light and shines a lot of light in our future, you know? So
yeah. I like when KD praises the Bulls. It gives me hope. Like, oh man, he's a fan of Chicago. Come on over.
KD to the Bulls confirmed.
Yeah, right.
I'm calling it now. KD's coming. Zion's coming. Giannis is coming. All coming to Chicago.
It's starting to sound like
you heard it here.
Starting to sound like a Lakers fan, man.
I said it since the beginning of the show. The Bulls fans are now the Lakers fans of the East. We are the Eastern Conference Los Angeles Lakers.
I refuse.
You can refuse all you want. That sounded very bad. Anyway,
Thousands no's.
So yeah,
one yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's. Needless to say, I'm excited for the remaining games of the season, just because Bulls finally have direction. We're finally starting the rookie. We're finally doing that. Well, whatever. Whatever. See what happens, and it's working. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not getting blown out anymore. Mm-hmm. We're not turning the ball over. We're not playing carelessly. We're playing very good and very entertaining basketball games. Yep. So
I've been preaching that shit for this whole season. If you're going to lose, at least lose well. And before we were getting
losing style.
Yeah, before we were getting blown out and we didn't even look like we belonged in the NBA. Now we have some. It's better roster construction.
It's all like 5-point losses, which is great.
Yeah.
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 Including some overtimes. When's the last time we were in overtime as a team?
Like 2 nights ago.
Wasn't that
No, I know.
That playing game.
The New York Knicks game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Knicks.
No, we had one overtime game earlier in the year, but now we're up to 3 because of the what do you call it?
It's goddamn Kobe.
You know which games I'm talking about.
That's why. Fucking Kobe.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys were going to come on the show and trash talk Kobe, and then he hit that 4-point play to go into overtime against Toronto, and you're like, can't talk crap anymore.
I'll talk crap. I can talk.
Even though he is
about Kobe
on the shooting side.
Yeah, I can talk crap about Kobe.
Kobe's taking a major step back this year. So
he has, but again, gentlemen, we have reached the main idea of the show, and I'm excited. I'm very excited to talk about this because very rarely do you, as we as Chicago's fans, when we're playing like trash, see our names in the headlines. And this has been getting a lot of mixed emotions from both Chicago fans and NBA fans as a whole. And that is Josh Giddey. Do the Bulls re-sign him? Does he walk? Are we better with him? Are we better without him? So the main idea of this show is going to be, is Josh Giddey the answer to the Chicago Bulls' prayers going forward? So I'll start this out by saying, do you guys think we will resign him?
Yes. Hands down.
Okay.
Hands down, I think.
Scott Berman?
We will.
We will resign him.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now that you both agreed that we would resign him, I'm going to ask you a two-part question. One, do we resign him before or after he becomes an official restricted free agent?
Ooh, that I don't know. Probably. I can see us doing that.
Okay. Scott Berman?
I think we do. We shouldn't. We should let the market decide
Dictate.
how much it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we will resign him. I think we'll pay $30 million for him a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if he goes to the market, probably like 20. Actually, I think Casey Johnson said it the other day that he's hearing around the league that it's about 22 to 24 million that he's projected to be offered by teams.
I mean, that's decent. I'm fine with that.
That's about what Aaron Gordon's making right now.
I'm glad you guys mentioned actual dollar amounts, because my other question is, what do you guys feel is an acceptable salary range for Josh Giddey? And I mean, I'm obviously not saying max and all that. Just what range do you want to see this young man get? Because again, he is a young man. He's 22 years old. He's emerged as, quite frankly, our best player on this team. And I will get to this question later, he's proven himself as a future cornerstone to this franchise going forward. He is coming up on he needs some money. What are you going to pay him, Dan Gracie? What's an acceptable range?
Oh, it's like what Casey Johnson pretty much said, like anywhere between like 20 to 25. I think would be fair for him with the NBA. The salaries are going up, right? Like the tax apron and shit, that's all going up. So yeah, that's totally fine by me. Like 20, like 30 would be pushing it. Like that would make me, like, I don't like it, but I get it.
Okay. I'm glad you went there. Scott Berman, acceptable salary range for the man from down under, Josh Giddey.
I would say max 25. We're paying Vooch right now $20 million, which we thought was a big contract a couple years ago. And clearly, it's like just a normal contract. Like we're paying Kevin Huerter $17 million. Like,
are we paying Kobe like 20 million right now? Or no?
Kobe's
no,
he's
it's
like
total
13 or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's that low. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's about 25 would be the most I would pay him. I could see them if they do it beforehand, they're going to be closer to 30.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, as if you can, 4 to 5 years. The last couple of years need to be team options.
For sure.
I like
they
that.
Won't be, but I would like them to be.
I would love that. And the only reason why you're right, it won't be, is because no player will, if he knows he's worth this much, no player is going to take less money and have a team option. You know what I mean? He's going to be like, no, if you want to pay me good and give me a team option, sure. But if you want to pay me okay, I want that option, not you. You know what I mean? Follow-up question to that. I know this is like follow the leader, like question after question. I like this. Anyway, gentlemen, is Josh Giddey, because we have a habit of this, so this question fits perfect. Is Josh Giddey the caliber of player to where if we overpay for him, it's okay? So I guess the real question is would you be okay if we overpaid for Josh Giddey, given the caliber of player he is?
No. I would not be okay.
Okay. Scott?
I kind of would be.
Elaborate.
We're kind of seeing it right now. They're kind of letting him be the floor general type player and dictate how the game runs and where players are. And it seems to be working pretty well. And if say we give him $30 million, is that really that overpaying that much? Like, it's not like we're giving him Jimmy Butler money where we're paying him $60 million. Like $30 million isn't There's
Yeah,
a
true.
lot of room with that. So, like, you can overpay him, but you're not going to overpay him by that much.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you can have a point guard, or like a solid point guard, you're set. That's something a lot of teams don't have, is like a solid point guard. And they're always kind of looking for someone that can be that guy that can run the floor. Like, there's too many just like point scoring first point guards, and then you just put people around them.
Yeah.
This is kind
fair.
of
Yeah.
he's more of the Chris Paul mentality of, hey, I need to facilitate everybody. He's basically what Ben Simmons should have been.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck
okay.
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
If,
A
like,
fellow
that's,
Australian
if Ben
counterpart.
Simmons stayed healthy and actually cared about basketball, I would say Josh Giddey would be pretty close to him. Ben Simmons was obviously a way better player. Like, he was on a path to be absolutely ridiculous, but that's kind of what he is. He can get the rebounds, he can facilitate everybody, and he can score. Like, he's not afraid to drive. His shot's getting a lot better, and he's showing that he's a player that you can start building around.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. All right. Now that you guys have answered all of my questions, I'll answer them top to bottom. Do you think we resign him? 100%. Yeah. I don't think there's a doubt in my mind that the Bulls don't resign this young man here. 22 years old, putting up the numbers he's putting up. The man is flirting to or gets a triple-double on the daily, at least gets a double-double on the daily. He becomes up there with the ranks of Michael Jordan and a couple other great Bulls that 20 and 10 games. He's had 4 or 5 consecutive 20 and 10 games. I mean, the man is just putting on a show every single game now. He definitely won a lot of the Chicago fans over. I didn't really need much winning over. I never hated the Josh Giddey trade. I just hated that we gave up Alex Caruso. But as a whole, I always liked Josh Giddey's game. Do I think we resign him? Yes. What's an acceptable salary range for him? I'm kind of with you guys. $23 to $25 million a year for this young man. However, if this man is budding into, dare I say it, borderline superstardom, all-star stardom, I wouldn't mind overpaying for him. We got to give Josh Giddey $28 million a year. I honestly don't mind that. Just to we finally have talent. What are we not going to pay for him? We finally get the talent we want, and we're not going to give him the money because what? We're a subpar team at best, and we have a player that is breaking the mold of what we normally have on this team, and we're going to deny him for a few million. Absolutely, re-sign him. Do I think the Bulls? What's that?
We kind of had this conversation about Pat last year about do we re-sign him. I would say this is completely different because he's been consistent all year, flirting with triple doubles. He shows what he can do, and he's just getting better. We kind of saw that with Pat, but he would just regress so much. So, like, I feel like this is a way easier commitment compared to what we've gone through before.
Yeah,
correct. I agree 100%. Now, do I think the Bulls will wait for teams to make him an offer, or do you think they will pay him right away? Unfortunately, the Bulls are going to wait for teams to make him an offer because, let's just face it, this organization has a kind of a poor reputation for being frugal. So to save those extra bucks, I don't put it past them to have a team give them an offer and us match the offer sheet. But I think that if the Bulls want to go head first and kind of make Josh Giddey their poster child and keep him happy, I think we beat teams to the punch and we come out and we offer him a salary and a contract right away.
Yeah.
Is it a smart business move? Probably not. You probably want to wait for teams to put in an offer, save that few million and use it on another player. Sure. But I think Josh Giddey is worth just dumping the salary right now and keeping him around for a long time, especially if he could put up numbers like he's putting up. Dan Gracie, now that we've talked about Josh Giddey, you actually had a question about Josh Giddey, and I'd like for you to ask it.
So
go ahead.
So with us eventually re-signing Josh Giddey, do you look at Josh Giddey as a building block or what you 100% like build around? Is he the future of this team, like the face franchise, and then like the star player, and you just give him supporting cast? Or is he part of the supporting cast and we're still looking for that one player that can put us over?
So basically you're asking, can we build around him, or is he a building block?
Yeah, should we build around him or is he a building block?
I love that question. Scott Berman, I'll do you the honors of answering that first.
He is not a number one. He will never be a number one.
That's correct.
He is a great building block. Like, I kind of see him nowhere near the talent, but Westbrook, when he would go on teams, he's not the superstar. He can be that guy, but you need another player around him to make him that good. Like,
So
his best years, he was with James Harden. His best years, KD, he was with them.
So Giddey is like a Robin. We're still looking for a Batman.
Yes.
Okay.
He's Damian Lillard.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. There you go.
He's Damian Lillard.
Yeah. Nowhere near the shooting prowess and the scoring.
Right, no.
But
So like
yes.
the role is a Damian Lillard type of role, a
Yep.
Westbrook type of role.
Yeah.
Yeah. He needs his Giannis or Tony Parker and
Timmy D.
Tim
Tim
Duncan.
Duncan.
Yeah.
And then we need
Yeah.
a crafty Argentinian player that for some reason
We have a crafty Lithuanian
that can
player.
just smack a
true.
bat midair.
Yeah.
We have a crafty Lithuanian player.
But yeah, by the way, I completely forgot that Ginobili had hair at one point. I just always
It's
remember
weird.
him bald.
Yeah, no,
It's
it's weird seeing him with hair. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video of KG talking about him, and he's like, "Yeah, Ginobili with hair. He was a monster. You couldn't do anything."
That's like Kobe number 8. Like, you know what I mean? But Kobe had hair with number 8. Answer your question, Dan.
sir.
Do I think he's a building piece, or do I think he is someone we could build around? I don't necessarily think we could build around him, nor do I want us to build around him. I'd like to build around him and Matas as a core. So I guess the short answer to your question is yes, both answers are correct. Is he a building block? Yes, he's a piece of the puzzle we need, but we could also build around him in the sense of him and Matas. You build around both of them, I think it's something special. I think we anchor, all right, you're going to build around, because, okay, sorry to make this complicated, but did you notice that during the trade deadline, everybody's name was in the hat, but you never heard Josh Giddey's name in the hat? So what does that mean? It means he is, I don't want to say untouchable, but he is a special part of our future. Is he a building block? Yes. Can you build around him? Yes. Both answers are correct. He's 22 years old. Okay. He's a great passer, great rebounder. He's establishing himself as a really good scorer. Scorer. But yes, I think that the Bulls should pick 2 or 3 players and give them a good supporting cast. In my opinion, Josh Giddey qualifies for one of them. Matas certainly falls in the category for one of them. I don't know if Io falls in the category to go in there. I'd love for him to. I don't know. I don't think he's got the talent level to be a build around piece.
Right.
He's a good supporting unit, but not a build around piece. The Bulls just need to find that one last
easy with
one last piece to build around. So yes, do I think they can build around him? Yeah, I do. But I don't think he's the main show. Like we said, he needs
a Batman.
bigger star.
He needs his
to play
Batman.
with. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He'd be a very good Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
He just needs his Michael Jordan.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Okay.
Okay.
So hopefully, Bulls fans, that answers your questions about, is Josh Giddey going to resign here? What are we going to pay him? Hopefully that puts your mind at ease. Let us know. Comment on this video if you think he should be back or if you even want him back. I know there's been an uproar that people don't want him back for some reason. I just chalk it up as people who don't follow basketball and have not been watching the Bulls this year, because there's no doubt in my mind this young man should come back.
It's just trolls.
I agree, 100%.
I think they're just
Trolls.
Part of it too might be they're afraid of what we did with Patrick Williams.
Or Zach LaVine situation.
Yeah, but Patrick Williams...
I'm more afraid of like the Zach LaVine situation where we overpay him and then he kind of regresses and we're stuck with him.
Yeah.
Which is also like the Pat situation.
But again,
Pat never produced.
Well, yeah.
Zach, we are paying like $40-50 million. He's not gonna get that type of contract.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
Handcuffed, which is part of it too. If we're talking about giving him like a handcuffing contract, like paying him $50 million, that's out of the question.
Well, I mean, with this front office, who the fuck knows? Like, I think that we are gonna sign him before any offer sheet comes, and it's gonna be a little higher than what we want. Just because,
so be it.
Just because AK and mainly AK is so high on this kid. I mean, I don't know.
So be it. He's 22 years old. And he's got a sky high potential as far as NBA talent. You put him together with Matas, another sky high talent. We're going to do special things here in Chicago. Trust me. Maybe I'll say within 5 years, you'll see the Bulls. I don't want to say be a powerhouse, but we'll be a bad team, man. We'll be the Detroit Pistons in 5 years.
2030. That year doesn't sound
2030
or real.
It doesn't even sound like it exists.
2030.
So who knows? Time will tell. But gentlemen, it is time for everyone's favorite game, Mount Hornsmore. And the reason why I'm excited about this is because last Mount Hornsmore, we received a lot of positive feedback, and I actually got the most lists back for last Hornsmore.
What was the last one?
So you guys remember the last?
Was that
episode?
Adam Sandler?
It was the top 5 Adam Sandler movies. I received the most feedback as far as people's lists, and a lot of them couldn't believe that we missed The Wedding Singer.
I know.
But I saw a lot of great lists out there. 50 First Dates. We forgot 50 First Dates.
That's a good movie. Fuck.
I know. There was so many movies. I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. There was so many movies that we missed. Yeah. So I thought, you know what? Let's run it back. Not with Adam Sandler, but today, gentlemen, I want to know, what is your Mount Hornsmore of top 5 Will Ferrell movies?
Okay.
That's not the reaction I was expecting. All right. Yeah.
Oh, no. Because I'm thinking about it. I'm just like, okay.
Now try to keep it centered around Will Ferrell. So like, I don't know if you've seen like Eastbound and Down.
Fuck yeah, I've seen that.
Okay, you know how he was in 4 episodes.
I'm doing movies only where he is a main character.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay, so obviously Anchorman.
Ooh, yes, starting out good.
Ricky Bobby.
Okay.
I'm going to do The Other Guys.
Oh, great movie.
What is that? That's 3, right? Semi-Pro.
That's 3. Okay.
And then one of his less comedy movies. Oh no, he has 2 good movies that aren't really like comedy. Stranger Than Fiction, and then a sleeper is Everything Must Go. Oh, and The Campaign is good. Fuck, dude, he has so many good movies. The Campaign is good.
I know. I love these.
It's a little tough because then I see other movies after I name my 5. But
Scott Berman, you've been given the task to give me the top 5 greatest Will Ferrell movies of all time. Make me a believer.
Okay. After my list, I want to make a statement, and it's going to upset a lot of people.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Well,
obviously Anchorman.
Yeah.
Step Brothers, classic.
Oh, fuck yeah, Step Brothers.
How do you leave off Step Brothers, Dan?
I don't know. I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry, everyone. I quoted that movie for so long.
I know.
You can call me Nighthawk.
Old School.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought about putting that one in there.
I love the Lego movie. Like, it's a good movie.
Was he in Lego?
Okay.
Yeah, he was the main character.
He was.
He was the
I
dad.
Yeah. Dude, that was like your
What?
Transylvania for
Yeah.
the Adam Sandler.
The
Last
main
one.
Chris Pratt was the main character in Lego movie.
No, he's
He
the glue and the dad.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Mhm.
I just think of Chris Pratt and Will Arnett.
Yeah. I don't know. It's either Talladega Nights or Blades of Glory.
Oh, Blades of
Blades of
Glory.
Glory is a good one too.
I
All
think
right.
it has to be Talladega Nights.
Okay. Okay.
If
Okay.
you don't chew big
Solid
red, then
list.
fuck you.
My one statement is Elf is overrated. It's an okay movie.
Ooh.
Elf is an okay
I
movie.
agree.
Everybody says it's the best Christmas movie. It's
I don't think. Yeah. I think it's
a fine movie.
No.
It's a top 5 Christmas
We
movie.
have not
I think.
We've not had our top 5 Christmas
Well,
movie yet.
this coming holidays.
We have not had our top 5 greatest holiday movies. I'm glad. I am so glad that we haven't done
We
this
got
yet.
something to
So-
look forward to.
I agree, Scott. I think it's for what it is. It's a great movie.
It's fine.
But who's watching Elf now in May or where are we? March?
Who watches any Christmas
No one.
movie in the
You know what I
middle
mean?
of, like in the beginning of?
Do
Do people actually do this?
you not watch Home Alone?
I don't.
I watch Home Alone throughout the year.
I think you need to. I think you might be a little psychopath.
I just watched Terrifier 3 the other day. Great Christmas movie.
Terrifier, damn.
We're not going to do this now because I want this list to be
Yeah.
A hit when we do. But top 5 Will Ferrell Christmas movie or Will Ferrell movies. Number 5, I'm going to go with Step Brothers. Number 4, I'm going to go with Semi Pro.
Yep.
Number 3 wasn't one of his. People forgot about this one. Get Hard.
No, I didn't forget. I just didn't think it was great.
Oh,
I wouldn't say that's his movie though.
It's a Kevin Hart movie. He's
Get Hard. Yeah,
He's
but
a-
it was
well,
built
Sorry,
around.
I
He's
was
a main
thinking Dewey
character.
Cox movie. I was thinking Dewey Cox.
Oh no, that's
Oh no,
Walk
no.
Hard.
Oh, Walk
That's
Hard
Walk
or whatever.
Hard.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Here's the thing. I like Talladega Nights, but I wasn't it was okay. Like I liked it, but whatever. So Step Brothers.
No.
What did I say? Step Brothers.
Step Brothers, Get Hard.
Get Hard. Semi Pro.
Yeah. So you got those spots.
I got 2 more. Okay, but I know the 2 I want to say, but I forgot it. Wasn't it like Blades of Glory was okay? That Wanderlust or whatever that was terrible. Anchorman, but only number 1 because
Anchorman
2
was-
was
Oh,
awful.
the money grab.
Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. That movie should have ended probably 45 minutes before it ended. The shark and everything. But my number 1 the number 1 best Will Ferrell movie, in my opinion, Kicking and Screaming.
I love that movie. I wanted to put that on the list, but like
I know.
it's a sleeper. I think that's like a cult classic for Will Ferrell.
Yeah. I think it's just because there's like a lot of I think I like it the most because it's like a soccer and you see the Italians in there. So I'm more gravitated towards
I think
it.
it's a PG or PG-13 movie, so it's not like classic Will Ferrell. It's family friendly,
Right.
Or Will Ferrell. But yeah, I own that movie.
Right.
I bought it at Walmart like 5 years ago. It was in the $2 bin. And I was like, fuck yeah,
It's crazy.
buy this.
Yeah. Like my favorite part of that movie, and it's completely stupid, is when they're like, when he first offers to coach the team and the ref's like, hey, where do I know you from? He's like, you've been my neighbor the last 7 years. No, that's not it. Yes, that's definitely it. Now I'll think of it. It's just so funny.
Oh shit, I'm gonna watch that now.
And I guarantee you, we're going to get another influx of people telling us that we missed X,
I can't
Y,
believe you
Z
didn't say
movies
this. I
and-
can't
and-
believe you didn't say this. I can't believe
Yeah.
you didn't say Land of the
Yeah.
Lost. Like, shut the fuck up. That movie was decent at best. Why did you say Eurovision?
He
Why
was
did you say The
Zoolander.
House?
He was amazing in Zoolander, but
Why-
it's not
why-
a movie.
Mugatu.
I can't believe no one said The Menu.
He's not in the menu.
What's the menu?
It's on his IMDb page.
He is not in the menu.
I don't know the menu at all.
Oh, it's a good movie.
But in any sense, gentlemen, that was our Hornsmore of Will Ferrell movies. I'd like to hear all of your guys' Mount Hornsmore for Will Ferrell movies, just because, again, last time we did the Adam Sandler movies, I started thinking of movies I forgot about.
Yeah,
so
same.
I can't wait to hear these gems, these Will Ferrell movies I forgot about. And actually,
okay.
I'll throw it back to you, Dan. Stranger Than Fiction was a very good movie.
The Sleeper.
Is that the guy that hears the voice in his head?
He has
Or what,
like,
he's, narrating?
there's
Yeah.
someone writing about his life, and then like he realizes like, oh my god, I'm living through like the story. It's Stranger Than Fiction.
Yep.
It's a good movie.
Yep. I agree. Gentlemen, however, unfortunately, we have reached that sad, sad time where it's time to say goodbye. I'm sad. It came up so fast, and I was having a good time. We were talking about Will Ferrell. Bulls have been doing good. This has been a positive cast all around, wall to wall. In fact, I know if you're listening to it and you're not watching on YouTube, I got 2 thumbs up there like the Fonz, man. Hey. It's been a good cast. Hey. So, to conclude this cast, I'm hoping, we haven't gotten to Scott yet, I'm hoping we got some positive closing statements.
Oh, yeah.
So Dan Gracie,
No, you don't have anything for me.
closing statement. What?
I mean, I don't, like, I always think of stuff, but I never remember them. Next time I'm going to just write it down. Just going to write it down. Like, had a sandwich today. It was really good. Extra mayo.
Yeah, mayo. Is good stuff.
I don't like that Miracle Whip shit.
Oh, yeah. That's a debate on its own. Miracle Whip. You got anything positive to say?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say? Okay.
Yeah, we talked about it on the live show, but friend of the show, Brad Mandarino, actually won that pickleball tournament. That was hosted by
I
Windy
saw
City
that.
Bulls.
Yeah.
They tweeted.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
if you look on their Twitter, they tweeted a picture of him.
Congrats to Brad, man. And you know what? Here's the thing. I've known Brad before he got this, and I've kind of known him afterwards. You know what does not get enough love? Man, Brad's beard game. That's a beard, man. They're beards. They're like, there's beards, and then there's beards.
Brad's definitely got.
Brad's beard is a beard.
He's got like that fucking backwood, fucking like Duck Dynasty shit going on. Like, dude, did you just come from the swamp, or where have you been?
Like, like when they depict Father Time, like, the guy with the beard, it's like a white long beard.
Well,
that's what I think of. I'm like,
I think of Robin Williams and Jumanji when he comes.
I can
when
see
he comes
that.
out
Robin's
of
was like,
it was just
of the jungle.
yeah.
But his is more like this way, where it looks like Brad's is like down. Like, Brad, your beard game is A1, buddy. And congratulations. That trophy was massive. And to do it on the stage where the great Adama Sanogo plays is just out of this world. So,
Yeah.
the Bulls should have never let him go. They should have never let him go.
Well, we got Zach Collins.
Turn the music down. I'm still talking.
We got Zach Collins now. It's gonna work out.
It will. Scotty B, what else you got?
I'm just looking at Robin Williams movies now because I know that's going to be the next Hornsmore.
I think I know the next Hornsmore. I can't say it just because it's.
Is it Kevin Hart movies?
I don't want
'Cause
you
there's
guys to
just
get
like
a head start.
One, maybe.
No.
Good, because
No.
I don't.
Yeah.
We're not doing Kevin Hart. Guy, I don't.
That-
I've lost all respect for him after the All-Star game.
I mean, yeah, my
Okay.
fandom
Yeah.
for him is going down. I liked him better in the early 2000s.
Okay, I got my.
It's just
I got
like-
my 5.
Ke-
We're good.
Okay.
I'm not. It's not going to be it.
I have it. I have it.
Sounds gonna be like name your
I have
top
it. It's
5.
It's
like-
Jumanji, Flubber,
Yeah.
Cage,
Yes.
Goodwill Hunting.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Patch Adams.
Possibly Hook.
Mm,
Yeah.
Is Jack in there?
Well,
He's-
you're
he's
look.
got
Is
some
Jack
great
in there
movies.
at all?
Jack is great too.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah. Well, you're in luck because next week the Mount Hornsmore is top 5 Tommy Lee Jones movies.
Good morning,
so-
Vietnam.
I've only seen one of those.
Aladdin. You forgot Aladdin.
Yeah.
He's not a main character.
He's the genie. He is the main character. He is the genie. He is the genie, not Will Smith. The genie. Tom
Tom Cruise.
Whatever his name
Tom
is.
Cruise
Robin
is
Williams.
the genie
Tom
in Aladdin.
Anyway, that's not going to be the Hornsmore. More of the story.
It's going to be
I did
Gilbert Gottfried
have one.
movies. It's going to be your top 5 Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah. But in any sense, gentlemen, I know you guys know it, and I know I've been preaching about it, but I'm just so happy about it. Again, another thank you to everyone who helped us reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I honestly, the day that we got 1,000 subscribers, it was just not, it wasn't real to me. Like, I know that the show is fun to us, but to know that other people are consuming our content and giving us positive feedback and just commenting and playing our games, it's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, I can't thank you guys enough. If you want to do your part, head over to our YouTube page, subscribe to our channel, get involved, have some fun with us.
Buy some
talk
merch.
goals.
Give us money.
Buy our merch, www.denzelrange.com. We just did put out our official, I'm going to buy it soon because I love it, our official Horniak gear featuring the new Horniak logo, crest, whatever you call it. It's really cool. I can't wait to buy my hat. I'm not going to use any promo codes. I'm going to pay full price like an adult. And I'm going to be sporting it on this show. So, and trust me, when you see it, you will too. But other than that, before we head out, just remember, keep your heads up, Bulls fans. These are the changes that we were most excited for. We have direction. We have a building blocks. So even though we're not going to make a pretty deep playoff run or even make the playoff at all, we're going to show some bright side going forward. So with all that being said, we encourage our Bulls fans and our Horniaks, see red, go Bulls, and good night, everybody.